Welcome to this edition of the Chinmaya Mission Open Dialogue Series. Today we'll be hosting representatives from the Metrowest chapter and learn more about the chapter and the chapter activities. We'll start with a quick round of introductions. I'll introduce myself first. My name is Suresh Sriramalu. I've been associated with Chinmaya Mission Boston and Andover for about 6 years, and I'll be coordinating today's dialogue. Both my kids went to the Bal Vihar program in Chinmaya Mission. One of them just graduated from high school and the other is still part of the program. And my wife teaches in the program, and I myself also learning Sanskritam in the program. And our family has greatly benefited from Chinmaya Mission over all these years. Our kids have benefited, and so have we. So next I'll turn to Meera ji from the Metrowest chapter to say a few words and then introduce our colleagues. And then also if they can also convey what motivated them to join Chinmaya Mission and what their own personal experience has been in this journey. Thank you, Meera ji.
Sureshi, my pleasure. And I'm indeed very happy to be here in this platform to be talking about Metrowest. And I'm a proud supporter of Chinmaya Mission. Me, myself, I started when I was 5 years old as a Chinmaya member and a student. And I continued with my children who graduated, and now they are past the graduation, another 5 years. So Chinmaya Mission has been a focal point in my life, I would say, and I have benefited so much where it's a lot because it goes back years and years. And I would say my kids have learned as well. It is not just learning Vedanta or learning the bhajans or learning, what Chinmaya Mission stands for, but I think it's also growing up and learning other things. In this country, we come with a lack of our culture, and we miss that. And I think Chinmaya Mission is something which binds us together for us to be together. And even to this day, I can tell you that my kids are still with the same set of friends whom they started when they were 5 years old. So I am very privileged and I'm very happy to be here. Now I would like to introduce my team who have been a focal point. And I would also like to say that I do teach, and I am a 9th grade teacher and I enjoy teaching. And even to this day, it's not just me teaching. I think I'm learning a lot from my children. So they are my kids, I call them, because I just enjoy doing that. So here I go. I would like to now introduce Ramesh Nagarajan. Ramesh, over to you.
Hi, Ramesh Natarajan. I started with Chinmaya Mission in 2007 when my kids joined the Chinmaya Mission in Shrewsbury at the time, which was about 30 to 40 kids. And I was so impressed with the logical method of teaching Vedanta pioneered by Swami Chinmayananda. And I also noticed the sheer extent to which such a logical way resonated with my kids that I opted to teach from the next year onwards. So I've been teaching from about 2008 onwards, largely for the higher classes, from 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grades. And like Meera ji explained, right? This has been a fantastic experience of spiritual discovery for me, as well as for my kids and the rest of my family. It's understanding a rational way to parse the Vedantic scriptures provides us with the mechanism to implement those in our real life, in our work life, and in our personal lives. And that was one of the original ways in which we started, right? And here it continues, and I hope I do this till the end of my time. So over to Jayashree.
Hari Om. Thank you, Suresh ji. Thank you, Ramesh ji and Meera ji, and Marlin to be a part of this. It has been a very beautiful journey for the past 6 years for me to be a part of Chinmaya Mission Metrowest. I was originally introduced to Chinmaya Mission Boston by my guru, Srimati Durga Krishnan. So having attended several programs there, like Tyagaraja Aradhana and concerts that Chinmaya Mission Boston has hosted. I've always thought, oh wow, it's a beautiful forum for the whole community to be together. And of course, we living in the Metro West, commuting to Andover was a huge undertaking back then. So I was very excited to see that Metro West chapter was there, and it was easily accessible. And ever since, for the past 6 years, both my kids have been attending Bal Vihar classes, and it has anchored us as a family to be a part of every single event. And my role in Chinmaya Mission has been in the Metro West has been coordinating the Swaranjali team, and music has brought so many of us. I have the Bala Swaranjali kids, especially. It has made me to see the talents of everybody and learned hundreds of bhajans in these 6 years that I can even imagine. And we have a very good team with the dedicated goal, and everybody who does their role, be it teaching or be it coordinating, they give their best, and that's very inspiring and brings us back every single year to Chinmaya Mission Metro West. And having Shashiji's guidance in all of this is beautiful, and that's it's a recharge. Like every Sunday is like a recharge for our entire family, and we go back the week, and then Friday when our battery is down, like or Saturday, then Sunday is definitely it has a huge impact in our outlook. And I have grown as a person, like what Ramesh ji mentioned. Spiritual journey has really been so meaningful. So thank you for that, Chinmaya Mission, and all the people who have been working hard all these years. And over to you, Marlon.
Thank you, Jayashree. Hari Om, everyone. Nice to be talking to you all on this beautiful Saturday morning, and especially happy to talk about Chinmaya Mission. So my husband and I, both of us are volunteers at Chinmaya Mission. So we started back in 2010. So we joined the mission back in 2010. And my oldest son was 5 years old. And when, as young parents, coming into this country, we were looking for a program that would not only, teach more about the Indian culture, but help the kids to appreciate the values with which we have been brought up in India as parents, right? So when we were looking around and shopping around, we happened to talk to some of our colleagues, and one of our colleagues was a member at Chinmaya Mission Andover. So of course, where we lived, and the commute was long to Andover, but we were excited to know that there was a Metro West chapter here, and and that's how we landed up with the Metro West chapter. And for us, both my husband and I, we teach at Chinmaya Mission Metro West. I teach the 12th grade currently, and my husband teaches 10th and 11th graders. So for us, it was, one of the things, our mantra has been, we have to always walk the talk, right? We cannot expect our kids to learn something, and we have to keep ourselves inspired and also set an example so that they can be enthusiastic about the program, because kids growing up here, it's natural for them to lose interest in, I don't want to learn about the Indian culture or values. So we decided as a family, it's going to be a commitment as a family. So both of us started teaching, and then, for us, it's been a learning experience. And, for me personally, as my spiritual journey, because I was brought up in a different faith, and, for me, it was a learning experience. And, the best way to learn something is teach it to others after you have learned it. So we've never looked back since. So it's been 10 years we've been teaching, and our kids love it. Other than the spiritual benefit experience and our growth, we've made a lot of friends through Chinmaya Mission. And like Jayashree said, there are some days when, Monday going back to work, I feel still dull. And when on introspection, I would have missed Chinmaya Mission that particular Sunday. So, it is definitely a recharge for us. It's not purely a recharge for it's for our body, mind, and intellect. It just gives us a boost. And like Jayshree mentioned, and Shashi ji has been a great inspiration for us, the commitment that she gives, the guidance. So it's overall been a fantastic experience. And, we hope to continue and benefit from this throughout. Thank you.
Thank you all for sharing those your thoughts and experiences. It's truly inspiring to see how broad Chinmaya Mission's reach has been and how they continue to inspire generation after generation. So in today's dialogue, we'd like to open it up a little bit and learn more about the Metro West chapter. And so I have prepared a few questions that were like, first, we'll start with the history of the Metro West chapter. Can you describe when the chapter was born, as it were, and what was the motivation for creating yet another chapter in the Boston area?
The chapter actually was started around 2004-2005 by Shubha Varadarajan, when she realized that she wanted her kids to go through the experience of learning Hindu spiritual values. It was started in Framingham, and about 12 to 15 kids joined the first day after a whole bunch of flyers were distributed in the Indian stores and other places. And this has now grown to about 150 kids today. And somebody explained it very well. Krishnan, one of the early members of this chapter, explained it really well, and about the threefold reasons for which this thing grew so well. Right? He fundamentally said that parents want to give their children exposure to the Vedic Hindu culture, right? That's the first one. The second one he explained was it helps to create a peer group where children can feel comfortable, right? Can feel comfortable practicing the faith, the beliefs, and the values that their parents are constantly going on about day in and day out, right? And allows them to feel part of a broader mainstream, right? That's the second reason. And the third reason is pretty interesting. When people look at these needs, right, they look for role models. And in this area, right, Dr. Sashi and Dwarkanathji have basically established themselves as role models in terms of setting up the whole Andover Center and so on. And it was all, they also explained, right, the fact that Sashiji was so dedicated that she would drive 1 hour each way to come to Metro West, establish this, right, set up the assembly and the bhajans and the whole flow of things, right, caused us to be pretty successful right away, right? And these are important characteristics, right? And the last bit that caused us to grow and still thrive so well relates to how the Balavihar curriculum is set up. Right. And if you look at the Balavihar curriculum, it is set up with role models and a familiarity with the religion and symbols through stories for the little kids, arts and crafts to familiarize themselves with all the images and the values and the symbols associated with it. And then as they grow older, more and more rational mechanisms, emotional rational thought process are introduced. The cause and effect relationships, the law of karma, right? That people have, it's intuitive. Once you explain it to the kids, they get the cause and effect, right? But is it at the forefront of their thought process before? No, right? So these, Chinmaya Mission brings all that to the forefront for these kids. It brings those values into focus. And then finally, of course, right, growing up in this Western world, right, these kids empathize and appreciate rational thought process. Right, and rational, logical thought process, like Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda would say, right? The logic of spirituality is very, very important, right? And of course, right, that resonates. That method of teaching resonates with this generation really well. And so these are the reasons that Chinmaya, the Chinmaya Mission Metrowest Center was started and has thrived till now.
Can you also expand on the kinds of activities that are offered in Chinmaya Mission Metrowest?
Sure. Chinmaya Mission Metrowest obviously started with Balavihar, right? And then quickly expanded into something that's very popular, which are bhajans, right? People want to learn bhajans, and Jayashree touched upon it right in the beginning, right? And of course, there is and then, like people were saying, right? This is a family affair, right? And it's a family affair. Adults want a satsang. They want to learn too, right? And get the benefit of having been associated with Chinmaya Mission. So adult satsangs were started. Teachers, there's a separate teacher satsang that also goes on. And of course, all the cultural and Indian religious ceremonies right through the year, right? We're also, they're also an active part of Chinmaya Mission Metrowest. And of course, one pretty popular event that happens is the Geetotsav on an annual basis, where kids learn different chapters of the Bhagavad Gita and chant them during the Geetotsav. So these are some of the activities that Chinmaya Mission Metrowest undertakes.
Our activities are mostly the Bal Vihar, and it's catered towards only on Sundays mostly. But we do have other programs. Like recently, we started a book club called Chinmaya Deal, Drop Everything and Listen. It's I would say it's like an informal study group. We wanted to start small, take baby steps towards forming a spiritual book club where somebody reads aloud, and then people listen, and then we come back together to discuss about what we just read. So the first book that we have picked up is He Did It, the legacy of Swami Chinmayananda's biography. So and it's been an awesome experience. We are a group. The book club is currently at 12 members. So we meet on Saturday evenings, and we read the book, and then slowly we will progress to more spiritual books. We are thinking of branching out to picking out books from the Mananam series for Chinmaya Publications. So that is one activity. And then there are other activities that go on, and I would like Jayashree to talk a little bit more about the Swaranjali group and the kind of activities that goes on around the bhajan and the bhajan group as well. So
definitely. And I think if you think the academic year starts like September, right? And every month we have something or the other to look forward to. There's always. And in the summer, so weekends, I would say majority of the events are in the weekends, but the variety is so much. So for example, we always have had the Swami Ramakrishna. He came every year. There was this talk, so we used to look forward to that. The end of August, September, and then slowly go on. October comes, we have Diwali, where we have the Lakshmi Pujas, where it's beautiful. Every teacher, the Bal Vihar, and I think similar to every other center, they take initiative, and the children do a beautiful job coordinating the entire event, setting up every single plate, every single member's items that they need. So that happens in October. Then slowly in November, we do some interfaith activity that we are part of in the Metrowest area. So we participate. It could either be, there have been a variety of ways we have participated, either through singing or through talks and talks about Gita, things like that we have been a part of. And the Binay Shalom that has given us the space to host our Bal Vihar always invites us and counts as a part of their community. And this is our way to give back to them. Any events that they conduct, we are a part of it. So, and majority, the interfaith is a big one that we participate in. And then comes December, as Ramesh ji had mentioned, the Geetotsav. And that's a huge festival. And the best part about all this is, in the facility, we have all the volunteers, very enthusiastic volunteers who are awesome at cooking. We have a Nalapaka team, which really enjoys cooking for like all these 200 people, and all of a sudden we have full strength that day, right? You know, on the lighter side, but amazing food just which is served, and that's something that all of us look forward to, like for Geetotsav, be it, or Lakshmi Puja. And then comes January, we do a big deal about the Republic Day, and it's our way to bring the community together and everybody. We did a few years ago a huge, the whole community, we sang the Mile Sur Mera Tumhara, and it was fun. It was, and the whole idea of bringing the bhakti, or bringing our connection to the roots in a nice way so that children recognize themselves. And it's not about the adults. Like, it's definitely any program that we make, it's obviously it's Bal Vihar, right? It's only about the children. So that happens in January. And February and March, we adhere towards like language classes. In addition to Bal Vihar classes, the Metrowest offers languages. Like, I think we have Tamil, Hindi, Sanskrit, we have Kannada, Telugu, all of these languages, and children do an amazing job preparing for those in March. So that March goes by, and then we adhere. April, we celebrate our annual day again. It's an amazing time where every teacher works so hard, and I have seen such deep involvement from K through 12, like be it like making costumes for the little ones, like big kindergarten, or go on to 12th graders who do an amazing presentation of any topic that they have chosen, is very inspiring. And the little ones look up to the older ones, right? So it's a huge community, and that's what happens in April. And then come May, we are prepared to send off our seniors off into the community, and hopefully they'll come back and be role models again in a few years. And there have been kids who have come back. And then we wrap up the year with a fun picnic. Like we have a beautiful state park here, so it's a fun event. Again, nothing is without food, so we have it's always sign-ups, and it's always like, I'll bring 5 trays or 10 trays or whatever. But it's food really unites all of us, but along with the fun aspect. And children, like what Marlon said, the children identify themselves as part of this whole group, right? So it's our family. We know we have made these connections, and every month we have something to look forward to besides the normal classes. And we are very particular about these in Metrowest, maybe in other centers too, where the Bal Vihar classes will not get affected by these additional events. So some weekends we have 2 things to celebrate, like 2 times to be a part of it. So it's a very event packed year, I would say. And in addition, we do, as part of Swaranjali, we have Bhajan Sandhyas. And we started off with the normal Bhajan Sandhya, and now we have like a Bhajan Antakshari that we play. And But it's, again, the fun aspect of Bhakti and making it enjoyable and accessible to everybody. So nobody is intimidated like, oh my God, I don't sing, or I'm not a good singer. It doesn't matter. It's about the Bhakti that you bring in, which is important. So those are some of the events that we do within our community, and also outside for the entire year that we have.
Also, all these things, the bottom line is we are there together. Not only this journey is more, we are learning a lot, not just for our stomachs or enjoyment, but also for our mind, like, the soul, like you said. I think it is going so indirectly that it's getting embedded, and the growth is happening right at your childhood. You don't even realize it, and it's in your skin. So as you start growing and you learn all these things, it's just such a wonderful, it's like a flower, I always associate it to a bud, which becomes a flower, right? We are all going through that, and that journey, we all do it together. So it's just amazing to see all the families being involved, and also the children who participate in this with so much of joy.
Along with it, we've also moved centers, right? We were in a very small place originally, and then as the number of kids increased, the number of families that participate increased. Now we are at Benai Shalom in Westboro, which is a very large center for this activity with excellent social rooms, with TV monitors in every room that allows us to use audiovisual aids, a large auditorium for any kind of events that we want to do. So the center and its activities have all grown along with these families. And that's enabled us to, become a pretty vibrant institution in this area.
How have you managed to conduct your activities in the time of COVID? We have classes and the other activities.
As somebody explained, right, we didn't miss a beat, right? So to a large extent, right, part of a broader organization like Chinmaya Mission meant that we were all facing this together, and many of the solutions about setting up the Zoom infrastructure and all of those came from the broader Chinmaya Mission Boston organization, along with Metrowest and New Hampshire and all of the other chapters. So that kind of collaboration allowed us to respond quickly and get into this whole virtual classes, virtual Bala Vihar. And the interesting thing that we noted, we were worried initially about, hey, as a result of COVID, would the attendance go down? Would there be other issues? And, to our surprise, attendance went up, skyrocketed, right? And we were able to finish out the year with fabulous virtual presentations, especially the older kids. They all got together, became innovative, put together, very interesting presentations by sitting in their homes and creating these individual puzzle pieces of presentations that they put together. And it was impressive the way this community has come together. And that also told us a little bit about the importance of Chinmaya Mission and Bala Vihar to these kids and their families, right? And it validated what we're doing in many interesting ways. So this has not only been a journey of learning for us, but has also been a very powerful validation exercise for why we are important to this community.
I think to add to Ramesh, if I may, it is, we did, during this COVID times, we did the Gita chanting. So we decided, okay, we have to do something different where every child, every parent is involved, and how do we do it? So we decided to have 10 leaders who would take this task of approaching 3 different classes, out of which they kind of said, okay, each child can chant 3 or more if they want to, and let's give them each chapter. And boy, was it a success. Everybody participated in it. It was just such a beautiful event. There were so many things which we were wondering, oh, is it going to go past? Or what's the participation going to be like? Are the children going to be enthusiastic? Oh, sure, yes. We did get 100% on that. All kids were so enthusiastic about, participating, and so did the parents. They all came forward. They all wanted to chant. They all did it as a family. And it was such a beautiful event, which we did. And little did we think that, it's going to be such a huge success for us. So just to add that, I think it was just a beautiful event, which we did.
You mentioned the adult satsang. Can you expand on that a little bit, please, on when it is offered and who participates?
So Sashi-ji usually takes the adult satsang classes, and many parents, and again, not just parents, but seniors opt to join these adult satsangs. And just like, for Gitotsav, right? It was in some families, in some houses, it was 3 generations, right? The kids and the parents and the grandparents being part of the Gitotsav. Similarly, the adult satsang is a very important element where, parents and grandparents are able to join in these adult satsangs. And, things like we cover important text, everything from Hanuman Chalisa onwards to, Tattva Bodha onwards, all of the Vedantic texts both for devotion as well as for from a Vedantic perspective. So it's always been a regular feature. The adult satsangs have been a regular feature at Metrowest, pre-COVID and post-COVID, and have always had a very engaging response from the parent community at Bal Vihar.
As being one of the regular attendees at the adult satsang by Shashiji, the way, and it's all, of course, all the credit is Shashiji's, the way she has explained and brought these concepts accessible to us, and be it like Purusha Shuktam, like the Valmiki Ramayana, then she did Hanuman Chalisa, the Mukunda Mala. So everything, and I think we also have room for discussions, and the way Shashiji helps us to adapt it. Like not every single thing you're going to grasp, right? There's always one thing from each text that you hold on to and guides you. And that's what I think throughout the attendees, that's how we feel. Like there's always something to take away that week, as I mentioned to you, to recharge us. And also over a period of time, you listen to it, you understand it, then you live it. Like how Shashiji says it. So first you're accessing the material, and then you're trying to see, okay, how I can take one thing and adapt it and then make it as a way of your life.
Suresh, one thing about the community outreach that I wanted to add, right? Swami Ramakrishnananda's discourses when he visits us, we fondly call him SRKG, right? So at that time, we, of course, we invite, others from the community, not just Chinmaya Mission members. And we see a huge turnout. It's because if we have listened to SRKG's discourses, he puts it in such a humorous way, such philosophical concepts. He brings it down to a very nice way of putting it across, that we see a large turnout there. An example was, and parents who are visiting us from India, they come back, listen to his discourses, and they go back and say, hey, I want to listen to more of this. And they reach out to their communities, their senior communities. And in fact, my in-laws were, wanted to invite him over to the senior community they were living for a discourse, right? So, that's how it's a spark, right, that we set, and then it just expands so much.
Great, fantastic. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to share your thoughts and your experiences and all the fantastic work that you're doing on behalf of Chinmaya Mission.
Suresh, on behalf of Chinmaya Mission Metrowest, I would like to, with the blessings of Gurudev, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. And we have had a tremendous, conversation here, which is really very nice. And I do thank my team who have done a fabulous job, Ramesh, Marlene, and Jayashree. Thank you so much. And Suresh, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Hari Om.